Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dating After Divorce podcast. I am your host, Shadi Curry. I'm excited today to introduce you to a challenge that is currently going on inside the Dating After Divorce Academy. So today is March 2nd of 2023, and we are kicking off the 10 dates in 30 dates, 10 dates in 30 days challenge. So I introduced it to the members of the academy throughout the week on our coaching calls in the Facebook group. We've announced it, we've had people sign up, and we are super excited to get started. Before I dive into that, I just want to ask that if you are loving the Dating After Divorce podcast, if you have found the concepts useful in your dating journey, if you would leave a review of the podcast so that the podcast platforms know that people love this and they show it to more people, I would appreciate it and be eternally grateful to you. All right, let's dive into the 10 dates in 30 days challenge. So we have done this in the Dating After Divorce Academy a couple of times, and it's just always been a winner with the members. And what it does is that it takes you sort of like from 0 to 100 in your dating journey. What often happens when divorced women get started dating again is that they start with these baby steps. Everybody loves baby steps. So the first baby step is you download the apps and then you spend a month, 2 months, 3 months being overwhelmed by everything that's happening on the apps, right? And then you're like, okay, I'll figure it out. And you go in and you learn the app and you learn the algorithm and you learn how to set up your profile, but then you're not getting any responses. And so then you spend another 3 months, right, struggling with not getting responses from the guys that you're really interested in. At this point, it's now been 6 months since you got on the apps, right? And then maybe if you persevere and you're really determined and resourceful and one of those people who's able to like DIY things like at a very, very solid, effective rate, then you go on to like, okay, well, now I figured it out. I figured out my profile. Now I'm getting responses. Then the next problem is, well, the texting conversations are boring. So now it's another 3 months of, oh my God, these guys are so boring. And these text conversations are so boring. And I don't know how to get the conversations to move forward, blah, blah, blah. And so then that's another 3 months of wallowing and stressing out about that. At this point, 9 months have gone by, right? And then if you don't give up at that point, maybe you figure out text conversations, you figure out that, oh, maybe I'm talking to the wrong guys and maybe I should focus on these other guys and maybe I should approach the conversations this way. And then you start having conversations and then maybe you get a first date, right? So now a year has passed and you've gotten your first date. And after that first date, but then that first guy doesn't turn out to be what you're looking for. So now it's like another month of stressing about that. And so can you see that like all these very normal activation points in the dating process, all of these learning points where you learn something new and you evaluate and you figure out how to do it differently, they're all normal. Like I went through all of the same things. All of my clients who have met their partners, we had to do that troubleshooting at every point for all of them. The difference with doing it, the difference is whether or not how long it takes you to address a change, right? How long it takes you to see that there's a problem in your dating journey and then to figure out what the solution is and then to fix the problem. I'll give you an example. One of my clients, when she came to me, she wanted a partner of a particular ethnicity and background. So it was like there was the ethnicity that she was looking for because she came from a particular ethnicity. She wanted someone of that ethnicity. But then she also wanted that person to have a specific background because she had grown up in like several different places. So she wanted someone who matched sort of like her journey and would understand her traditions and her culture. So it was very specific. And it took us about 3 months of troubleshooting, working and, adjusting her profile, adjusting how she responded, what she put in her profile to attract that kind of person. And so we did that within 3 months. So within 3 months, she was having like 2 to 3 new first dates, like new guys every week. But there was one little piece, some of her photos that I had, said, hey, you really need to change this photo. You look a little young in this photo. I don't think it's going to attract to the kind of guy that you want. And she was like, oh, but I love the photo. It's very sentimental to me and it has a lot of meaning. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. And so we went another couple of months where she was dating a ton of guys. Like she was having so much fun, meeting a lot of really great guys. But there was always like something missing. And so we kept adjusting up until it was like, okay, I'm now meeting the perfect guys, but there's only one thing left, which is that they're a little young and a little immature. And I was like, that those photos I asked you to change 2 months ago, that's probably the problem. And so that gap of 2 months where she resisted changing the photos, she could have met her partner in that time, probably. Like the whole journey would have taken a total of 5 months if she had changed the photos earlier. So there was just that little troubleshooting issue that if she had done it earlier, then her journey would have been like exactly 5 months to meet her partner versus more like, I think 8 months, 8 or 9 months to meet her partner. And so the idea behind the 10 dates in 30 days challenge is I use it to teach my clients the basics of meeting guys and creating a pipeline of good people that you're meeting very quickly. Like it's like a boot camp. They just go in and it's like, no, don't fuss about that. Pay attention to this. Don't spend a whole week worrying about something that this guy said. We get onto the practical parts of it. And so it gets like all of those tiny little kinks out of the way very quickly. It's like gathering your art supplies if you were going to, paint a painting. Now, I am not an artist, much of an artist. I dabble in like paints and like I'll do things that nobody wants to see because it's like a 5-year-old painting. But I can imagine when I want to do a project, I'll go on YouTube and I'll say, okay, these are the supplies that, the person says to have. And so I'll go on Amazon and I'll buy like the canvas and I'll buy the brushes and I'll buy the paints and I'll buy like all the things all together. The 10 dates in 30 days challenge is the difference between seeing the project, going on Amazon in one day, putting all of the items required in my cart the same day, having them arrive within the next week, and then I can spend the next 3 weeks like creating that project over and over and practicing that project. Not approaching dating in this way is like saying, oh, I need these 20 things to create this painting. Okay, I'll go buy this one paintbrush. And so then you search for the one perfect paintbrush and you put it in your cart, and then it takes you 3 days to actually check out. And then when it arrives, you're like, oh my God, the paintbrush, was it the right paintbrush? Okay, I think it was the right paintbrush. All right, I'll go get the acrylic paint in the specific purple that they asked. And so then you spend another week or 2 weeks picking out the next ingredient. And then maybe you spend another month picking out the perfect canvas to use for the paint. And then 3 or 4 months go by just in gathering the basic requirements for this project. So then the project ends up taking a year. Instead of, all right, I went on Amazon one day, and I'm not plugging Amazon. I keep saying it over and over. I do use Amazon, and I know there are a lot of thoughts about that. My husband doesn't use Amazon at all, if he can help it. Going online to your favorite art shop, putting all of the things you need in your cart and checking out the same day. That's what this challenge is for, right? It gets my clients moving really, really quickly, becoming masters at using the apps, understanding the algorithm, understanding how to show up on the apps, what to put in their profile, what to not put in their profile, what works, what doesn't work for their specific situation. We're able to make those adjustments really quickly so that then they are off to the races. So you're making those incremental changes, you're troubleshooting the journey in a very, very short amount of time. The second thing that the challenge does for my clients is that it makes it fun. So because it's a challenge, and what we're doing is that they get points for different parts of the challenge that they participate in. So we have, I guess, what you could call like a leaderboard, even though, there are prizes for everyone will get a prize with this. But we do have a spreadsheet where everyone signs up, they put their names in there, and we have all of the dating activities and the points that they get for participating in that particular dating activity. So if you sign up for the challenge, you get 50 points right off the bat. If you watch the live videos that we do within the group, you get 10 points per video, and there's a live video every day, like just about 5 minutes, telling them what to troubleshoot on that particular day. Then they get 10 points per video. If they comment or ask for feedback, they get points for that. Joining the coaching calls, you get points. Swiping right, points. Attending a live event or a social event, that's 500 points. You get a lot of points for just getting out of the house on a Friday night or on a Saturday afternoon to go and hang out with other people. Sending the first text. This one is huge because I always laugh when my clients are like in this dance with people that they're interested in, where it's like, well, I asked him to call me, but then he sent another message saying that I should call him, and it's sort of like this weird standoff that people are in, and it's just hilarious to me. And I'm like, who cares? If you like this person, give them a call. But I think there's a lot of like people taking it very personal if they are calling more than the other person, or if they appear more interested than the other person appears. And so there's a lot of overthinking and a lot of like calculating. Did they call first? Did I ask first? I'm like, and that is applicable at a certain stage in the dating journey. And maybe I should do a podcast episode on that. But it really isn't applicable very early. Like the first 3 dates, it really doesn't matter who calls first, doesn't matter who initiates the dates. Like you're just trying to figure out if this person has any potential. So like all of that, like checking and calculating and measuring the minutes that you spent initiating, or like all of that is just nonsense. And it's a complete waste of time. And too many people are spending way too many time saying, well, I texted him twice, he texted me once, I texted 1 line, he texted 5 lines. All of that calculation, if you are doing any of that, you are 100% wasting your time on the wrong thing at the wrong stage in the dating journey. And it is probably harming your ability to meet the person that is the person for you. But we'll go into that on another podcast episode. Rant over. Yeah, so we have points for phone calls, video calls, in-person dates, second dates, and third dates. And it's just really amazing to see the ladies in my group really come out of their shells to like get points. And there's a little bit of like excitement around it. What I love about making it into a game like this is that it takes the pressure off. It takes all of the pressure off, and it's just a game. There are no stakes. No one's like, okay, I must meet my partner this month, or, you know, I'm going to be alone forever. It's really just about participating with friends and your coach within the group and having a really good time learning all of the pieces that need to be evaluated in your journey. So we have prizes. Everyone is cheerleading each other. We actually had, I think when I announced it in the group yesterday, in the Facebook group yesterday, and I used the @everyone tag to tag everyone who's, you know, been in the group. One of the ladies who had already, she met her partner. They actually celebrated their 1-year anniversary last month in February. Because she got the tag, she came in the group. I was like, yes, this is how I approached my journey. And it was amazing. There was one weekend where I had 8 dates on the same weekend. And it's just better to get all this stuff out of the way so you can meet your partner very quickly. And so, yeah, so that was Sarah. And Sarah met her partner within 4 months, approaching her dating journey like this challenge. And so she's one of the, I guess, OGs of the group who comes back in and is like, hey guys, it's amazing, you can do it. And we just appreciate that she comes in and she shares and is a cheerleader for the women who are still working on their own dating journeys. So this process works for anyone. Like literally, it has nothing to do with who you are, where you are, what you're doing. It works for anyone in any geography. And the reason is it takes your mind off the things you think are in your way that really aren't in your way. Many of my clients come to me and they're saying, well, the reason I haven't met my guy is because of the town that I'm in and there's nobody here. But when you do this game, you actually find that, oh my goodness, there are guys here, because you stop thinking about this roadblock that is sort of imaginary, and you find the evidence that that roadblock was really never the roadblock. Some ladies feel like, oh, it's because I'm a certain weight, or I don't think I'm attractive, or there's nobody who's interested in the kinds of things I'm interested in, or nobody wants a woman who shows up in the world the way I do. And just going through the activities just for the points is a way for them to test if that is actually really true. Because if you go through this challenge and you do all of the 30 days, you will for sure know, like if you do the 30 days and you get 0 responses, like nobody shows any interest at all, even though you're swiping and getting points and meeting all the targets, then you might be like, okay, well, maybe there's no one in my town at all. But usually what it is there's something on the profile. We usually end up finding, because we troubleshoot together throughout the challenge, what I usually find with my clients is, oh no, there was just this thing on your profile that is attracting this certain kind of guy. If we take that out, swap that out for this, you will have a better response. And then switching that out during the 30 days and seeing the change in the results is always like, oh, it was never about me. It was never about me not being attractive or nobody wanting me or nobody liking me. It was always about what I'm doing in the process. So we do that. That's the practical side of it. Of course, throughout the process, I'm coaching women on maybe some triggers that might show up for them, some past hurts, some of the ways that they are thinking about the journey that's holding them back, some limiting beliefs that they have. All of those surface very quickly in the 30-day period, and we're able to coach on it and get them past those mental blocks and well on their way. So if you are dating actively now, I want to encourage you to either come join us in the Dating After Divorce Academy or design a challenge for yourself. Like, you can be like, you know what? I want to get 10 dates in 30 days, right? And you can just go ahead and figure out how you want to do that and how you would go about doing that, and just leave all of the limiting beliefs that you typically have on the side and just approach it like a game without any stakes, without any pressure, and just make it fun. And if you would like to do it with a group of people, if you would like to do it working with me, then you can join the Dating After Divorce Academy today or over this weekend and jump right into the challenge next week. So I wanted to tell you all about that and encourage you to either join us in the challenge or create a challenge of your own, set up some points for yourself, put together some prizes that you're going to win when you do some things that may be a little bit scary for you, and have fun with it. All right. That's today's episode. I really appreciate your time and attention. Thank you for spending time with me on the podcast. It's been really gratifying to hear from podcast listeners, to meet some of you on the consultation calls, to work with so many of you who have actually become clients over the last year. So I just want to say I appreciate you guys so much. Have an amazing day, and I will talk to you later.